Hello guys, I'm Marnix Jr., President of the Civil Engineering Club, CIU, Cyprus International University. And today, I'm having as guest Dr. Shibab Ibrahim. I already know you, doctor, but I would like you to please introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Shibab Ibrahim. I am a PhD holder in civil engineering. Currently, I am the civil engineering lab coordinator, and I'm instructing in the department.
Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation. We know it's not always easy to have a spare time for you. So, welcome.
Thank you.
Today we are going to talk about something I believe is really important to civil engineers. So, summer training. First of all, just to make it clear to everyone, can we use summer training and internship interchangeably? Like,
We can use it.
Thing?
So that we can use it.
So
It can be.
Okay. So, first of all, what is an internship?
Well, an internship, basically, the definition of it, it's an training that offers by organization, or let's say if it's my definition will be toward civil engineering, to be specific, the construction companies to the students in order to get hand on the field experience, communications, leadership, and then teamwork on the site.
Okay.
So that's the idea of internship or summer training that we call it here.
So,
it's a training that helps the students to see the site works, oversees them, look at the quality, look at the construction methods, and gain experience, and also correlate the knowledge that they have, the theoretical backgrounds that they study, to the work on the site. That's a clear, simple definition of internship or summer training, we can say that.
It's really clear. And how important is the summer training actually to us?
Well, it has a lot of advantage for our students. What we said that in the beginning, that it's kind of allow them to see the theoretical things that they study in the school, in the courses, how it's been implemented on the site. That's one of the things that they see there. The second is the construction methods that they will see. Each student will have a different experience. Some they will go on the site, they will see a lot of activities. Some they will see less. But no matter how many activities you see, you will see different materials, construction methods. Those are, let's say, you might not see those things during the course of study. The way that people's implementing the things or building the thing on the construction site, that's also another part of the study. So you will see them there. But behind any activities on the site, there is a theoretical background which our students must take them from the courses that they study. That's from this. The other part of it, also they will learn how to communicate with the peoples, which, let's say, that the knowledge that you have as engineer, let's say that, the people, they don't have what you know, so how do you communicate with them? Also, they will be able to learn how to read the blueprints.
Yes,
those things, basically, part of the things that the importance of the internship that they also connecting with the professional peoples on the site. Creating a network is one of the benefits that our students must take advantage of wherever they go to do their internships, to be able to have a connection with the peoples, which allow them for the later careers after graduation.
Thank you. So, but the thing is that, for example, in our department, we have it maybe once in a. So, is it sufficient?
Well, the 1 month, a
30
proper
working days.
30 working days we have it. Properly going on the site, inspecting the things will give an enough experience on the site. But properly going on the site, 8 to 5, let's say 8 to 5 will be there, inspecting the things, taking the notes, looking around, ask questions. It would give at least a small experience for the purpose of, let's say, summer training we have in school. But if you're interested to do more, yes, you can apply more. You don't need to just, let's say, restrain yourself to one summer trainings. We had students nowadays currently working in Saudi Arabia. He had 3 internships, one back his country, one here, and one in America. So he was curious in learning and was wanted to do more.
Talk about the internship abroad, because
yes, it's possible. I mean, if interested and you have time, why not? More experience basically on the field will be better, give you better understanding on how the things work on the field, and how to correlate them with what you study in the civil engineering.
So, is there a number of hours, sorry, like a student should be working during the internship per
Well,
day?
it depends on the work, but we recommend students to go on the site, to be there, let's say 8 to 5. Sometimes you have casting concretes which happen during night. Now, I know students say that, why I have to go during night, but the idea is that during the summer, when it's hot, weather hot, we prefer to do casting in during the evenings, periods, or night. So if you're not willing to go to the site, means that you don't have interest of learning. So we said that whatever the work requires, be on the site. Maybe you will sit there and just notice what the people doing. You just take a note. You have a log, something small with you, daily activities, how the things been done. Okay, if you're interested to ask questions, if you find the people to answer your questions, you'll ask them. Curiosity, it's what we look for the student on internships. Not just to go on the site, okay, this is formal, this is it. That's not the way we internship. You will go on the sites, stay there, look at the things, maybe some interference, connection with the people there, talking to them. That's basically how it makes it. We want the student to be on the site to gain experience, not just to know, okay, this is concrete, this is formal, this is steel. Those are what we're looking for.
So basically, you're saying when students are going for internship, actually, it's not just for the sake of doing the summer training and write the report and submit to school. So
Definitely
they should
not.
be going with the knowledge,
With passion.
passion.
Yes.
So apart from that, are there other? What can be the objectives of a student, for example, should have? What objectives should you have when going? Apart from that.
Well, we said that two skills they have to gain: technical skills and soft skills. Technical skills means that the methods, the material in the construction sites. Students are supposed to be curious. Okay, they're doing something. They're doing tiling. What is this white material they're using there? What they put under it? What are the name of the materials? Take a picture of the bag. Go and read about these materials. At least you know that if one day someone asks you a question, you've seen it, but you never ask about it. So that's what we want the students to get: material properties. Okay, we explain, for example, this in the courses, this type of cement, this. But on the side, there are other things that use, let's say, that a lot of, we're not talking about the brand names, but behind the brand name, there's something that student must know. It's a mortar, it's a cement base, it's a white cement, or something is mixed with that one. It's a glue used, type of plastics, whatever materials that they use on the site. A curiosity basically allows the student to ask questions. Okay, what type of material did we use here? What's the name of it? There is a bag, take a picture and read about it. That's the material properties. The construction methods, you look at the way that how they're handling formworks for the columns, for the, let's say, for the slab, for the foundations. Or maybe you will see in excavations, how would they be able to make a straight edge? How will they do the levelings? What techniques they use? What construction methods they use, for example? How they transport material from somewhere to another place? All these methods that people are using on the sites, you will not be able to see them, let's say, all of them during the course of study. So where do you see them if you have this month experience? If you just stand on the site, just looking around, people are working differently, different groups, you look at them, how they do things. What are the safety precautions supposed to be on the sites? You will notice that, okay, this is hazardous things. This is problematic, these things here. Is there any precaution can be taken? Those are all, they call them, technical skills that you will see them on the site. That those are related to what? Some knowledge base, safety, quality. Then you have the soft skills. Soft skills basically means communications, leadership, teamwork, to notice, to see how people working with the teams. You might be a part of them. Maybe you will be a part of something, let's say that the engineers sometimes allow the interns to give some, let's say, instruction to the steel fixer, to the carpenter, or the bricklayers. Those are basically a part of some trainings that advisors sometimes allows the student to, let's say that, can they transfer the blueprints information to the technical peoples on the site. That's teamwork, let's say that you will work with them. Or you look at their things, you collect the data and give it back to your supervisor. And work basically between them. A communication with the peoples, we'll talk about the language barrier. The communication with them is something that you will learn from them. Those are the soft skills, you will learn them on the site. So those are things that you will not be able to learn during the course of the study.
So talking about the skills, are there some skills a student should have before going there?
Well, the things we required from the student to go there, I can keep it in a simple way. Now, if someone asks you that tomorrow you have a boxing match, would you go unprepared?
Yeah, to
Definitely not.
prepare.
So you know that you're going to the construction site. Let's say any construction site we have, there's a plan. You don't go there decide, okay, today we're going to do this one. It's not like this. People plan things. Tomorrow we have, let's say, building or excavation. So if it's about the excavation, I'm going and reading something beforehand. Before going to the site, I'll talk about or read about something about excavation. To at least have some knowledge. If I go on the site, if I see something, first I will understand it faster. Then while I'm reading, I have some questions I can ask on the site. Then I will see how the things done easily. So it always says that for civil engineers, the things are planned. We know, for example, during this week, what kind of activities are ahead. So why am I not going to read about them? Now, if I wanted to learn things, I know this is the task, will be done. So let me read about them, and then on the side I will see them, and I have a question I can ask them around. So we want them to go prepared for the things.
Okay.
Not just show up on the day, okay, what do we have today? This one, how it is done.
Like, I'm a student, so I have to learn.
You will learn it, but learning also you have knowledge before to read, before going to the site.
Okay. Actually, talking about some challenges, students actually might face some challenges. We spoke about the language barrier. So, how can we manage that? How can we cope with this? Sometimes we meet site engineers or even workers on the field that you can't express yourself in English. So, how can we cope with that?
That's true. I say in North Cyprus we have it. Most of the companies, let's say engineers might know English, but the steel workers or the employers or the workers on the site, they don't know the English language. So their local language is what they use for the work. Now, it is your duty to be able to communicate with them. Now, we always says that nowadays technology is in your hands. The phones, basically, you have programs that you can talk to them in English and you can translate it to English, to Turkish, let's say that, if the people's working in Turkish. Now, it is you who's supposed to put some efforts to learn the technical words and use some of the translation apps that can help you to communicate with them. I know it's not hard, it's not easy, but somehow, if you want, during the 8 hour of, for example, on the day you're there, you might be able to ask a few questions basically, and you learn some words, and you'll be able to communicate with them in a way that to create this bond between you and the peoples on the site. We know it's hard, but this is one thing that they call adaptability, that an engineer is supposed to have this capacity to adapt to the environment.
Yeah,
So that's
sure.
the way that you try to initiate. You not say, okay, they don't speak English,
So
then
it's
I'm not
still-
gonna. No, you have an app. We know that basically you speak in English, and the app you'll just show it to the person, and he will say it in Turkish or the language that, and they will understand it somehow. They can speak to you in Turkish, and you will have the translation. I know it's hard, but at least you will learn somehow. Within 1 month, you'll be able to learn some of the technical words that used, let's say, on the site that you have it.
Okay, so that's actually one way. There might be some other ways, maybe.
There are, but the way that let's say sometimes the engineer speaks English, so you might ask the advisor, that, okay, I've seen this one on the sites, I could not speak to them, or I could not communicate with them, but I want you to answer this question for me, let's say that.
And then that's one challenge, but are there other challenges a student can face while going to the summer training?
Well, the other challenges would be, I mean, if they could not find the places, that's another challenge, but I'm not aware of any of the challenges that they face there, beside the language barrier.
Okay. So somehow it's how would I say? It's easy for, like, I mean, when they're going on site, it's smooth. The thing will be smooth. I mean, not apart from the language barrier.
Well, you always have the fear. As a student, you say, okay, I don't know anything on the site. But I'm always saying that whatever you learn that will be used somewhere on the site. I'm not talking about the construction methods. People, for example, say, okay, how do we make these tiles levels? But how do we check the things regarding the formworks, regarding the concrete, the things that, let's say, that you must know about, I was saying, during the after steel fixing, what will you check, for example, how do you read the blueprint? Those things that you already seen them somehow, because we are not allowing the student to go to summer training, let's say, in the first 2 semesters. We need them to pass at least 5 of the fundamental courses, then they will start the summer training, which is in the 5th semester or 6th semester, sometimes they start 7th semester, they go to the summer training. So they have knowledge. The fear basically is there, we know that, but they can overcome it by going on the site.
So actually, you're talking about the semester. I mean, those semesters who are able to go to summer training. Is it possible to go to summer training? I mean, before that, or any student can go to summer.
Well, it's you can, but it will not be counted the one that we have it for as a course of summer training.
So it will be
You
for
can do
yours.
internship for yourself. You can apply places. Let's say that you're interested about laboratory materials. Let's say after passing some of the courses you have in the first, after you're getting some material science course, let's say that you can apply somewhere to go internship to do in the laboratory, how the material handling equipment. That will be good. Let's say hand on the experiments, material experiment, but not for the purpose of summer training that we have it in the department as a course, because you have to meet certain standards in order to go for that summer trainings. And that summer training is supposed to be on the field. There are some other summer training that you can do. You can go in let's say in office. In the office, basically, that you will learn how the management works, project management, handling, let's say that design things, what detailings in the software wise. So you learn that one in the office, but that will not be counted as well as a summer training for our university, let's say that. Or
Because
departments.
they just want to be on site. Or?
Yes, we want the student to see in actual the construction methods. We always ask them try to see more than, let's say, 3, 4, 5 activities, different activities on the site, to be able to see how they're doing, not the office-based
But what
internship.
if I want to continue my career in an office? So
It's possible, but still we want the students to know something on the site, because the office one you'll be able to gain. You don't need, for example, any method. It's knowledge. It's what the software base you're using it. You will take some courses, and you'll be able to gain experience in the office, even if you don't do summer training. Let's say that. Management courses that are available that you can take management courses, project management course. Let's say that people do exam. Let's say for management, but what you cannot get experience if you don't go on the site. You'll not be able to get that one. That's the difference we have it.
So basically, how am I going to know, like, what's the best field to do my summer training, office, or when I want to do my summer? How should I determine it?
Well, you will do site, definitely, at least for the purpose of our departments. You will do the site one, and if you're interested to do more than that, you want to see, for example, if you like yourself to explore whether you like office, you may apply some places. For example, you want to be an internship in there, to be a part of the team management team, the design team. You can see that one to see, because each person have a different, let's say, perspective, different things. And civil engineering is a broad discipline. We know that we have multidisciplines inside it, so each of them have different ways of working on the side and the office. So each student will find their ways by the 3rd, 4th years. They will say, okay, that's what basically I like most in the civil engineering.
So, but like, from what I'm understanding, the site is preferable.
Site is mandatory for our summer training. Okay. It's preferable because of the experience that you will see. Yes, the experience, communication with the people, different level of, let's say, people's day you have on the sites, that you're supposed to maintain the communication and understanding together. Because you read the blueprints and you explain to the people there. You will learn that one, but in the office you will not do that one. In the office you have the blueprints. You think in your mind in your own language. You talk to yourself in the language you understand. Okay, I need to do this one like this. You don't need to explain this one to anyone. You will do it on the computer. Let's say you have a project management plan. You'll say, okay, tomorrow is this one. Okay, we'll do this one, shift this one here, bring this one here. But that's you and the computer doing these things. But on the side it's not like this. On the side you deal with the peoples. So that's what's recommended to be on the sites.
Just to make it clear, what is a blueprint?
Blueprint is the drawings that we have there.
Okay, the plan.
The drawing, yeah, the plan basically.
Be it structural
Yes.
or architectural.
Yes, both basically we need students to understand them. Understand means that what they are, how basically where they're located, the dimensions. Those are we need from our students to learn them.
Okay, thank you. You mentioned something. Sometimes students actually find difficulties to find a place to do their summer training. So we know our university actually maybe have a partnership with Tufekci and Levent. Recently, also Pana Construction is taking some students for summer training. But apart from those, do we still have other companies that can actually take students?
Well, there are other companies that have heard from students that they went there, but you're not limited only to go to those. Yes, those, like our department have, let's say, in protocol with them that they take our students for summer training. They have a lot of construction site, but that does not mean that you need to only go for those three. Let's say, as the club president, maybe you will initiate something to create more, let's say, protocol with other construction companies for allowing our students an easy access to them. There are the list of the companies, student can contact them. We always advise them prior to the summer training, 3-4 months ahead, start your application, start to contact with them to be able to secure a position in the company. There are a lot of companies that you can contact them, and the list of the companies can, let's say, you can get them from the Chamber of Civil Engineering, or by looking around, and you will find those companies. Some they may have a lot of construction, some they focus on their construction, let's say, in Famagusta side, some they have it in Lefkosia, some they have Girna, some they have the other sites. So it depends on the student's location where they're staying, they can even look for those constructions. Let's say for a student it would be easier to go to the site if it's close to their home. Okay. So they will look at the construction sites or the companies and they will reach out to them prior, let's say 2-3 months, they will go and talk to them and then they will secure a job. But it would be good as a club president, you will initiate something like this to have more, let's say, companies to reach out to them to create some let's say, protocols to take students. A quota, 10 students per semester. It would be nice for our students that they will have an easy access to the companies and they can apply for them.
So you think about that as well? You look at that. Yeah, that's one thing. And what can you advise to students who are not able to have, for example, a company or a site beside your place? I mean, for example, when I was doing my summer training, I was living in Lefkosia and doing it in Iskiri. So I don't think it's not something easy, first of all. So, and some students might have the same problem or might be in those situations. So what do you advise to them?
Well, the advice basically what I said, that if you start sooner, you might be able to get. But let's say that if you could not get anything, you still, punctuality is what you need to always be punctual. I know it's kind of hard to from city to city to travel, but an experience. Okay, you will struggle with transportation, yes, with the timings, with the way always, let's say, not easy to reach to the site. That's some difficulties, but I believe that if you be able to, let's say, apply sooner, you might find something, because you will look around, there's good constructions. But if you don't look and you're looking, for example, only for the specific companies, and that companies might not have a construction closer to you, so you kind of like left for us limited options that you have to choose in that case. Some students, they start, okay, which company? I'm going to this company. Time on this company have it, they don't have an in Lefkosia, they have in Girne. What will you do? Whether you don't accept it, if you don't accept, it's a problem, since you have to finish your summer training. So if you accept them, then you have to take the responsibility of going there. So we said that prior to that, try to find. And there's a lot of places that you can find. But no matter where you end up, you still have to go and learn. That's basically the rule.
So what's the best time to start applying for summer training?
Well, there are some paperwork, and I always recommend the students, please go and speak with the summer training coordinator, so that you will know the steps that you have it, whether the papers were supposed to be done. At least you get the acceptance of companies, filling out things from the advisor. Those are supposed to be done before, so that you can at least, but finding the company, it's at least, I'm saying that 4 months before where you want to start, 4 months before, start looking for the place. You tell them, I want to work in the summer. Because as I told you before, people plan things. They not say, okay, I don't have any, maybe they will say, we'll have a construction start on May. So you know that there will be construction, they'll say, okay, we can take you on that as a summer training internship in that project.
Thank you for your answers. I want us to talk about something. You mentioned some documents, paperwork actually you have to follow. Apart from those things, are there other documents a student should be having or get used to before going to summer training?
We have the logbook. Well, you're not going to take the logbook with you on the site. You'll take a note with you. Whenever you go on the site, I'm always advising the students to have a note. Record everything on the site. Whatever you've seen, whatever you've done basically. Safety precautions. It's a quality control. Anything that you see on the site, Note it down daily, because you will use later that one to create the reports that you have at the logbooks and the report that you write it down. Take photo. We always says that whenever you go on the sites, have a phone. I mean, nowadays everyone has a phone.
Yes.
So take pictures of the things, whatever you see them, label them, and ask questions basically about them. I always want them to have also a picture of them on the site as well, yes? So that's what we want from them, to take notes of the things that they have. And also, we want them to take the safety precautions for themselves. I say wearing the personal protective things, the helmets you have, if you have a vest basically, to go on the sites prepared.
So
You know that it needs to be wear, for example.
Yes.
So that's why we ask them to at least for themselves to follow the safety protocols. And they can ask the advisors, what are the safety protocols for these peoples? Who is responsible for them? Because nowadays is one of the, let's say, essential part of the construction is the safety. So you have to follow them.
So you have to get those things on your own, actually.
Well, depends. Some companies, they might have them in their stores. They can lend you. I mean, when you go in the sites, you will wear them. But you might ask them. If you don't ask them, they might, for example, say, okay, they might not provide it. But they say, okay, I want to have a helmet, for example. The shoes, maybe they have, maybe don't not. Something, for example, for the site. So you will ask them, they might have it. You will wear it, then go on the site. Then when you're leaving, you'll give it back to them. In a way that, for example, you yourself will adhere to the safety protocols on the site.
Okay. Beside that, we don't get paid for solar trades.
Well,
So what's
here,
the problem?
well, here I've never heard any of companies to let's say pay for the internship for the students now.
But for
By the way, glad to mention this one. I told you before that the ACI, that American Concrete Institute, for the students, our students, they say if they became a member of the institutes, there is a part that they can apply for internship, and the internship is paid. So the paid basic, I'm not sure how much paid, but it was written there for the students, and the graduate student apply for internship in America, it's paid. I'm not sure if any of our students have ever tried it, but it's something that we can share the things, the details through the social media accounts or the club things we have, so the student will be aware that there is possibility for them to apply abroad, to go abroad for internships, and those usually will be paid for them. So whether they will pay the tuition, the things that they have at they call stipend, or some they pay hourly, some they only pay for the accommodation, the things, and then they're leaving, they give them something there. I'm not sure how those things work, but they said that all the amount of money will be paid for the internship there.
So you mean here it's not? I mean it's not a culture to pay for it. You are not used to paying students or interns.
I haven't heard of any company that will
So
pay for
if
the
that
students.
happens, it's a surprise.
Well, the things were paid. Let's say that what they look basically from the internship. Yes, first thing that if I have a company, imagine I have a company and I'm bringing students, let's say, for internship. If I want to pay basic, they have a criteria. So I'm not taking everyone and just pay them. So I want punctual. I want someone to be punctual. I need to be passionate, adaptable, for example, to be able to manage things, to be able to take responsibility, and to have some knowledge. Let's say that. Okay, the knowledge comes from the readings. I mean, you will be able to gather knowledge, for example. Okay, if I see people like this, and then I might be able, for example, to pay them. Let's say to give them some, somehow to say that boost,
Yes.
so that they will love the job. Okay, that's possible, but I've never heard any companies here, unfortunately.
Because when moving, for example, from Left Kosher to Iskele, sometimes you need those books
Yes,
too.
sure, that's true.
So, and then you spoke about applying abroad. ACI that's offering
Yes.
internship abroad. So how can we? What's the process to?
Well, the process for that one, you're first supposed to be a member of the institute, and you will use the guideline we posted on the notice board of the civil engineering, and throughout the club social media things we can share with the student. First supposed to be members, and the members, there's a part for they call internship. Student will apply there, they will go there and then fill the form. The form usually required one advisor to fill it. I will apply for them because I'm also the faculty member in the ICI, so I can fill the things, sign for them that if they're willing, for example, to apply for it. So we can prepare the guideline and then share it with the students so that they can follow the procedures.
That would be lovely.
We will do that as well.
So, apart from ACI, do we have any other company abroad that can?
Well, to be honest, I'm not sure, but there might be as well. I mean, with some connections we have themselves check, and I will let you know if there's any companies that we know, so we can list them so the student can contact me in that case.
Okay, thank you for that. Is it possible to get full, how would I say, like to get full, how would I put it, to start working with the company where you did your summer training?
Definitely. That's one thing we always tell the student, that wherever you go, try to show your potential to that place. As I said, that punctuality, your eagerness to learn, basically adaptability, yes, communications, leaderships. You show your skills to the place that you have it, the place they have it, and that's connections. You'll connect. You'll have the connection with them. You follow them on LinkedIn, whatever they have. Basically, you'll keep the contact with them, because those people, if they see you that you are a fit engineer for the site, definitely after graduation you will have a chance to continue with that company. Well, here there's only the language barrier that you have to put the things there. Now, if you want to work in this country, that's you have to learn the language. At least I want to communicate with the people on the site. But definitely always says that, always telling the student that show your potentiality, your punctuality on the site, so that you will tell them that this is me. If you hire me, I will provide this as a service to your company. So you will show yourself to them. You learn by the way. You learn through but there's something it's in you. Now, if I'm not punctual, the company cannot make me punctual. Yes, if I'm not eager to learn, the company will not force me. Summer training will not make me eager to learn. So there are things that in my, let's say, nature, in my, yes, those basically it's you. So you show yourself to the company, and then you will get a higher chance basically to continue with the same company after graduation, which happens to me. By the way, you said about paid. I got paid during internships.
Oh yeah.
I was in Iraq basically. So I got paid there for even 3 semesters I was doing, not just 1 semester. Every summer, 3 months I was working summer training, because I was interested and I was get paid for the internship, a little amount of money, the transportation and something. And then after graduation, I had a chance to start working with the company, for example. But I chose different place. But that was a way that, let's say, you work with the company, and you will show yourself, and then possible that you can continue with them.
Okay.
It's possible.
It's possible. Talking about the impression you do to your company.
Yes.
So, are there skills we need to develop apart from the one you listed, punctuality and those? Are there other skills we need to develop to make strong impression?
Well, as I said, that those I count them. Punctuality, basically, we said that leaderships, communication skill, let's say, understanding the blueprint, that the skill basically you'll have it. Knowing ahead some of the material, the knowledge basically can be the things that give an impression. Let's say you go on the site, you already know about the material will be used. If something happened, let's say how to solve, called the problem solving techniques. If you be able to show that you have those techniques, yes, those are basically the one that my people look for other things, but those I know that there are key factors, let's say, to differentiate someone who love the work, let's say, that are interested to do the things there.
So somehow, when companies take students, they're expecting from them to understand the plans, to be able to do some works or coordinate some works on the field.
Well, it depends on the advisor. Some of them, the advisor just take her or him to the sites and show them around, and then he will say, okay, look at me, what I'm doing, for example. Let's say he's explaining the things to the people, and then the student will be around them, will be just listening to what the advisor does. Okay. Some advisors basically tell the student, okay, I need you to go and check the walls for me. I want to check, for example, the steels. This is the plan, and go and check for me. So it depends on the advisors. Some advisors give tasks to the students to do it, and bring it back, report it back to the advisor. That sometimes they're asking. Some of them just basically take with them, will show them around, and then they will listen to the engineer. How does the engineer, for example, behaves with the crew basically there? How does it give instructions? How do they check the things? So some different way of having it.
Do you think companies actually have expectations from students when they take those students?
Well, definitely. I mean, you're a civil engineer, yes. You came to learn, but you also have some knowledge. So that we expect from, I mean, the company might expect from the engineers to know at least something. And as if they see something to report it back. Some of the, let's say, advisors might tell you, okay, you'll be on the sites and you report back to me. So why would, let's say, if I have a company or I'm an engineer on the site, why would, let's say, that I put these students on charge on the site, let's say that if the student has knowledge, so I'm expecting for the student to know about the safety regulations. Maybe, okay, if you see something, you'll tell them that the word the safety helmets. Let's say, for example, there is a place which is problematic. For example, don't go close to here or don't throw this one here. Where does the waste go? So let's say that they expect from you to have something, but we're not saying that you know everything because you go for learning there, yes? You learn things. But small things that you need to gradually learn these things in the sites. I'm not saying that if I want someone, then I will bring an engineer, yes? If I want to know everything. Definitely.
Directly, need to be
Yes.
But we always used to see internships for undergraduate. Is it possible to be a graduate intern?
Well, it's usually for undergraduate. There are, but those are, they call them a special. Somehow it's this professional internship they have it. Because after graduation, basically, you have all the knowledge, you kind of became an engineer. So what you do internship is maybe just voluntary work you will do somewhere to get an experience. That's might be available, but I've never heard of them.
So it's possible.
It's possible. I mean, it's kind of that you go somewhere and you will do a training that, but usually when you go to a company, let's say apply to work, there will be someone who trained you at least for 3 months, 6 months. So while you get paid as an engineer on the site, you will also have someone that who trains with you, or at least give you the ideas what the work's supposed to be done on the sites.
Okay, so actually, what are the expectations for daily operations on the site as a student?
What do you mean exactly by that?
I mean, when you go on site,
Mm-hmm.
you actually expect to have some, I don't know, to have some knowledge. Maybe if you're trying to get knowledge on, let's say, concreting, then what can you, if in case there's not concreting, for example, what can you, what should you expect? I mean, if you planning when going for your summer training, you're planning, for example, to have knowledge on concreting and other structural work, but when going, that's not the case.
Okay. Yes, that's something that you might not see some of the let's say the constructions activities. You might see simple things, but that does not mean that you cannot ask questions. Let's say as a curious student, if I go on the sites and I know the plan, let's say that I'm not going to be there for the concreting. Let's say if I want to know knowledge about that one, I can ask the engineer. Like, what are can you give me 5 key, for example, checks I have to do before concreting? What are these things? Maybe I don't know. I'm an engineer. I'm a student basically. Yes, I don't know what I'm supposed to check. I have some knowledge, but I need to know from the engineer. Let's say that what are the things I need to check? Yes, what are the things I have to pay attention to it? Look, I am asking question as if it's gonna happen to me tomorrow. So if you don't ask these questions and you say, okay, I did not see it, but that does not an excuse that you could not ask questions. So we ask the students to be curious about the things. You might not see it, yes, but you have a chance to ask them questions. You will find an hour, half an hour talking to the engineer, let's say that instead of talking about the weather, about the things, you ask them question that, okay, if tomorrow was casting concrete, what are the things I need to do before that? During the casting, what are the things I need to know? Shall I pay attention to the mixer that comes? How do I take the sample? Should I do it myself or I have to supervise them? And so you ask them question that, okay, what are the things of the vibrator? What do I need to know about the vibrator? I say you have a formwork there. How do I cast this one? Do I fill it all once or twice? Any question that comes to your mind that if it's tomorrow happens to you, okay, people might know these things, but you don't know them. So you have to ask questions.
So So curiosity, as you said.
Curiosity is what basically makes you different. So you need to ask questions even it hasn't happened to you. So that's why we ask them, take a note, have it, whatever they say, you write it down. You search about them, you'll read more about them. Whatever they said that, you can read more about the things later.
And what do you, as a lecturer, expect from students when they're...
Okay, that's the next question.
Let's start from before going to the summer training.
Okay, and then coming back.
Yeah.
Okay, in the beginnings, some students come to me and ask me advice. I tell them that, okay, you find a job, a place basically to work your internships. Okay, go on the sites, and whatever the activities you have them, whatever the activities. First thing, you look at the plan, you understand the projects. What about the materials that you have? There's the list basically. You can ask the engineers, can provide these details to you. What type of concrete will be used for the columns? What type of foundation do I have? What type of beams do I have then? The material used for rebars, the grade of them. Like those are knowledge that I like, even if I haven't done anything, just one day I can get those informations. I can collect those information, yes? Simple things that the system, structure system, what is it? I can just look at the blueprints. Okay, they use, for example, a shear walls here. They use a column and beams, or without beams, or waffle slab. What kind of things that they used it? Those are things that I can gather information that, yes? Then, I'm expecting, for example, when they know that there is something, this is before even going there, yes? You know, for example, if there will be an activity which you go and read about them ahead. The material used for this one, the methods used, how do we check them? Those are, I'm advising them to go this one, to write down notes, to check for the safety, to check for the ethical things, how the problems, the disputes solved on the site usually happens. The dispute between the engineer and the one of the crew members, or the carpenter, or the steel fixers. How for example, engineers solve these disputes. The ethical way, for example, they use to solve the things. So we need the student, for example, to have something in their background, their mind. Okay, I need to know these things from this construction. At least I have to pay attention to them.
Okay.
How they solve the problems that happen on the site. A problem happens on the site. Nothing goes planned. Yes.
Yeah.
How they solve the issue. Does the solution they provide, engineering-wise, does it have any effect on environments? Let's say sometimes they decide something, but that decision, yes, it solved the problem, but does it have an environmental effect on the environment?
So
Maybe someone is just dumping something there or doing something. So we need students to have, there are specific part that we ask the student to go and look for this thing on the sites. Then when he comes back, okay, they have to gain the knowledge on the things that they've done there. Whatever you see on the sites, whatever methods used, you have to ask questions, you have to learn about them, because it's part of your training. You're not just going looking at them, the machine is working like this, they spreading mortar on the wall. Oh, it's a nice machine, but you don't know why. You don't know the basics of this working. Is there any mixed ratio for the mortar they're using? A simple question can ask is, like if you tomorrow come, making a house and you have this machine, this machine is nice, let's bring it. But if you don't know the material that you use there, then you spray it and it's not going to stick to the wall.
No.
Then that's I'm saying that it's all curiosity and asking questions. You need to know what's happening. So ask questions, look for it, and you'll get the answers.
So we do advise students who are planning to go for summer training to come on.
Well, you can ask any of the teachers that we have in the departments.
Okay.
Some of them can give them more different perspective, because each teacher has a way of looking at the things. Some they have a different way of looking. Yes, definitely can ask questions to
So
see.
at least they should be aware of some things before going.
Yes.
Okay, so I think that would be all from the question I have. Do you have anything you want to add to speak about?
Well,
Do you have anything to say?
that's basically the things I want them, the students, to find, take it seriously, and if they have a chance to do more than one summer training, take advantage of that one. Try different countries, your own country here or somewhere else abroad, if possible. That will create, you will have a better connection with people and more chance for you to see different methods in different countries. Each country have different ways of dealing with the things. That will create or make at least your view of construction methods wider, and you'll be able to, let's say, understand how people differently work, and you adapt yourself to the systems later on. That's what I usually ask the students. If you don't have a chance, they say, to do more than one summer trainings, at least try to be on the sites from 8 to 5. Try to learn, not for the sake of just the course you have and then writing the reports. You write down, okay, from 5 to 8, learn today, the world was created. That's not how the things is. So we want the students, or at least for mine, if I advise the student, go on the sites, be there at 8, starting work till 5. You will have 1 month basically hard time, but that 1 month will gain a lot of informations, a lot of experience that you will write it on your CV. That how this experience that you have it shaped you for a better student or engineer. That things that you learn from this, you say, okay, I need to pay attention more to the things in the school, because if I don't know this knowledge, I don't know how this works. So there you will learn what are the difficulties that, or the weaknesses that you have, and you learn how to minimize the weaknesses on yourself. No one knows what is your weakness. No one knows unless you know it. And when you see this one in a real life, hand an experience, you will know how to improve them, because you have 3 semesters, 4 semesters ahead. So you will fix those things. When you graduate, you'll be ready for the for the site.
So you spoke about the CV.
Yes.
I'm interested about them. So is it possible? I mean, is there a way we can actually enhance our experience from the site to boost the CV?
Well, you can. As I told you, the skills that you're learning on the site, you can write them. For example, throughout this project, for example, you learn that this experience was gained, for example, during these summer trainings. This part that you did, the internship that you had. You can write down the things that you gained, for example, the experience that you had. I will always, one thing I forgot to mention, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, we want the students to correlate things from the theory to the practical. We want them to find the link between them, which there are a lot.
It would be easy for them to see that what you are actually studying is in the real life.
Yes.
So, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
I hope you guys enjoyed this rich exchange. See you next week. In the next episode, we will talk about the life of teaching assistant in CIU, Cyprus International University. See you guys.